Although Africa is a land of contrasts, one common thread runs through the lives of more than half of her people. It is the thread of agriculture. Over 60% of Africa's people rely on agriculture as their source of livelihood. Most of them are smallholder farmers. Markets in Africa ought to represent hope and opportunity for the millions of smallholder farmers who till their land tirelessly every year. But do they? It all starts in the marketplace. African markets, particularly formal markets, often leave smallholder farmers out of the loop, even though they account for 60 to 90% of agricultural production in Africa. But why? Smallholders ordinarily do not have the capacity to respond to the strict demands of the private sector: quality requirements, volumes, consistency, timelines. It's a tough formal system that would otherwise lock out farmers like Joyce Mena if it wasn't for the burden bearers of agricultural value chains, the informal wholesale buyers. They are the heroes in this system. They've got to be innovative to remain profitable, maneuvering the inefficiencies caused by smallholder failures and the information breakdown created by brokers. Stepping in to play a critical investment role, they translate the demands of the private sector and contend with these barriers, ultimately securing markets for smallholder farmers in the process. Farm Concern International is working in partnership with wholesale buyers and other market players to collaboratively fix some of the barriers in the system so that smallholder farmers are better positioned to respond to the demands of the informal markets and, by extension, those of the private sector as well. The result of this ongoing collaboration is that today, smallholder farmers depend almost entirely on the informal markets in Africa and are flourishing as noticeable agribusiness players. This is why we need a new lens, a whole new perspective on informal markets in Africa, because the potential for smallholder farmers to have better lives partly depends on these very markets. They could mean a whole new story for smallholder livelihoods. This is why markets is the first language of Farm Concern International. We envision a future where millions of smallholder farmers without market access become noticeable players in agribusiness lifelines through informal markets in Africa. FCI at 10, a decade of innovations and impact. Farm Concern International, winning markets for Africa.